All right, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back. This video was a while ago from Omar Gooding when he talked about, I think it says, Omar Gooding on actors selling their soul and reveals knowing actors who died from selling their soul. I think it's how the rest of that goes. I don't want to lose my screen, but I think that's what the rest of it says. I watched it a while back. I don't remember every single thing he said, but I wanted to do this video and talk about it a little bit. So I'll probably, this will be about 15 minutes maybe. But we're going to go ahead and jump in because some people say, before I jump in the video, some people say you can't sell your soul. But then there's what is it, profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul. But then they'll say, well, that's what they say. They'll go off the scripture, but then they're like, well, no, well, God can bring them out of that, but they have to want to come out of it. He don't force nobody to like be about his righteousness and be a child of God and like by faith in Christ Jesus. He don't force nobody to do that. You either are that or you're not. If you want to do that, then he'll cause you to walk in his statutes and commandments. He'll mold you, if you will, like he's the potter, you're the clay. But anyway, we're gonna jump in this video because some people don't believe this stuff still. Actually, a lot of people. But let's see what he says.
Selling your soul in Hollywood, is that a real thing?
Oh yeah. Um, I believe it begins with the choices you make with what you find acceptable. If you get a role and it requires you to do certain things that you think is acceptable and you do them, then you'll get that call. Then you'll know. One thing always leads to another. It's not like you walk into Hollywood and they go like, "Hi, red pill, blue pill. Which one do you want?" It's that no. They put you through the test. You know, they know who they can get away with what. People do things on camera because they're comfortable doing them. If they're
That's a good point too.
uncomfortable doing them, they shouldn't be doing them. It's just that
Sorry.
simple. That's when problems happen. Problems and cases and situations and all this inappropriate because you weren't comfortable doing it anyway, but you did it. And now you want to come back and say, I was so the whole time I couldn't believe it. But the people doing the hiring go, I think they like this, or I think they're with it, or
Hmm.
they're okay with
Yep.
it. I think they'll do it. This makes sense. Oh, they look like a natural. Oh, they're crying, this and that. They're fine. You okay with nudity? They strip. Oh, they're fine. They're good. And then later they
Wow.
come out and say, "Oh, I was damaged, and they told me I had to, or else I would. If I don't put on this lipstick and dress, I'll never make it in Hollywood." Nobody says that. They just
I don't mean to laugh like hysterically like that, but it reminds me of what Dave Chappelle's dad told him on what he said his dad told him on Inside the Actor's Studio. He said, well, name your price. And if it ever gets more expensive than the price you name, then get out of there. And then he said, thus Africa. And I think what his dad was actually telling him there was if it's going to compromise your values, then you got to leave. I don't think he was talking about money price. I think he was talking about values and things that like he was just saying. Like if they're comfortable with doing that, they'll do it. They don't make them do that. They choose to do that. It's just an influence thing, like temptation. Oh, like someone, having a drug addiction and doing sexual favors to get drugs. I think they call those people like strawberries. Usually it's women that do that, but not all women, but the ones who are fiending like that. And that's nothing against them, but I'm just saying that's usually how it goes. Especially the city I live in. I was like, mm. But anyway, let's get back to it.
put it in front of you. So you want to do? We can do a dress. Oh hell yeah, they slide in that dress, zip it up, and put the lipstick on and the eyes, and they're happy with it. They're comfortable doing that. They're fine. That's them. They're good. That's the people that do it. It's the ones when you come to see if Omar put the dress on. Yeah, no, no, that's not. It's not me. I'm not. I say the dress, but it's a metaphor for just doing things that I think are unnecessary, especially for comedy. I wasn't the Three Stooges type of guy. I'm not the one I walk in and I trip and fall. You ain't got to hit me in the face with a pie. Ah, now I'm funny. Ha ha ha. Nah, just give me the line. I'll make it funny. I'll figure a way to say it cleverly that'll make everybody laugh. I don't have to trip and fall. I don't have to walk into a screen. Oh, jackass. No, I don't. That's not how I am. So it's easier for me to turn down things that I go, no, I'm not going to do that. Why would I do that? That make me look foolish? No. My character, my fan base likes what they like. So when I get feedback on, man, I loved you in this role, I loved you in that role, and they say things like, man, everything you do is solid, like, that's cool, thanks. I've done some things that overall as a project probably weren't solid, but my contribution to it was, when they see you, you don't let us down. Cool. I think of them when I choose roles. You know what I mean? I also think about what I'm comfortable with and what I would have to compromise or not, But I do believe, yes, it's a very real thing. It's very spiritual. There's some people don't believe in God but do believe in the devil. Well, where'd the devil come from? How do you believe in one and not the other? You don't believe evil exists? Will you say sing a prayer in a church and yeah, sure. All right, now we do this devil enchantment and da 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 da. No, I ain't doing that. I'm not playing with him. Yeah, yeah. You know it's real. So why would he not say, yeah, well, you do all this, I'll give you all the desires of your heart, but I'm gonna collect that later. And we see a lot of collections happen and happening. We see the collections. And when it's happening, everybody, oh, I can't believe they did that to them. Well, they made that deal a long time ago and he's here to collect. I think it's a very real thing. Just me being honest.
Yeah. I mean, Matthew Perry came to mind whenever I heard him say that. And there's others too. I can't think of all the names. And I think that's why Chris Tucker got out of there. Like, I don't know about that whole him and the island stuff. I don't know what I can say on here. But yeah, like when they had him in that dress, was that the Fifth Element? And some people just think, oh, it's just funny. I was like, but why does that even need to be done though? You know, you can look at it as funny, but they're not really looking at it as funny. I think it's some sort of, what do they call it, emasculating, demasculating. I don't know how to say that term. It's something like that, and seeing if you'll play ball, what you're willing to do, type stuff. I think Lecrae talked about that. They ask you, oh, you sit, but do you stand, and stuff like that, which was kind of weird, but that was a while back. But yeah, let's jump back in.
So, and it all comes when you try to figure the right turn or the left turn to make or the right path or this and that. Just think about it. Sometimes what you just got to do is you look around the corner. It's the best way to figure out decision making. If I do this right now, I get this. But what's the worst thing that could happen from this? It's that. It's this. I put on a dress, some lipstick. Now I'm out. I'm in the party or I'm in a club. Someone go, there go that punk. You this and that, sissy. Watch yourself. That was just a move. No, it ain't. You like that shit. I gotta fight this man. We have to fight now. There's no other course of action. Because I put on that damn dress. Well, I'm not really like that, but I know that. No. That's part of it. Yeah. That's enough right there to say, nah, well, then I know my lane. I know what I can do. I'm not.
That's a good point, though, actually, because when people see you act a certain way, some people really believe you are a certain way. You know.
Tyler Perry. I'm not. You're not comfortable in manhood. For one, that's not manhood. But let's not go there. What I'm just saying is, it's the choices you make. And then if you make this choice, that choice, Hollywood sees you've already made these choices. Well, then I'm sure you have no problem with this. Now we'll give you all you want, and you keep packing our agenda. We know whatever we give you, you'll do. So here, we'll give him all the money he wants because we say, now you're doing this because this is the agenda we want to push. This is what we want to make black men look like. This is what we want the picture of. So here, you get your money. Now go do it. That's selling your soul. You don't have a soul. It means you don't have a say. You just do what they tell you to do. Somebody thought I would do that and sent me a script and said, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And I said, no, I'm not. But they already paid me, so I give them what I want to give them. Here, this is what you get, some push-ups. Anything else? Nope. We got to find another way now. We got to find another way because he didn't do what was on the script. Put a camera in the dressing room before he leaves. Tell him to take his shirt off real quick, put the change in my name. You know what I mean? That type of thing. But yes, I totally believe there's that. I've never been fortunately faced with okay, this is what it is. I think people like Dave Chappelle have, and they said, look, this is what we doing now. This is what we doing. This is the money on the table. Your choice. And he said, nah, fuck that. You know what I mean? Kudos to him. He survived, came back even stronger. You know what I mean? I think everyone has that moment. You have to make that choice, that decision. It may be professionally. It may be while you pulled over by the cops. It may be out at a club somewhere. You know what I mean? But everyone gets that choice. We all hope, pray that we make the right one.
And I saw you make a comment about how it's actually actors that's not living because they sold their soul.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Mm.
tough, man. And when the collection happens, it happens. And I don't even think it's because it's that they not here. It's well, I mean, yeah. No, it is because they're not here. I ain't gonna backtrack what I said now. I mean, it's true. You make that wrong choice, and then if you don't play ball with what they want to do, they'll take you out. That's the sad thing. It's tough, man. Life is tough. Well, you can't, if you overthink it, you go crazy. All the things that can go wrong right now to you right now could just your whole world up. So you don't think about it. You just make the best choices because it's you got to have fun in the control. You really got to control your environments now.
Yeah, I wanted to say something about that Dave Chappelle thing. I actually think a lot of these people are still a part of it to an extent because I don't know how to say it the right way, but like Dave Chappelle still advocates for that letter stuff. Like just because he jokes like he does about it, he never he's like accepting of it. Because you can love those people without accepting their behavior as okay. I mean, you don't accept certain things your kids do as okay, but you don't not love them because of it. You just there's something called lovingly correcting them, you know. And that's why I say a lot of them are still a part of it. You even hear Cat Williams and say stuff like I think on Club Shay Shay said, if you know some gay people, put some gay people on and stuff like that. That's kind of just like just being accepting of all kinds of things. Like that's the problem. So to say something like that, but then say you're about Jesus Christ, well, you're really not because that's not holiness. That's not righteousness. That's not God's right. That's what are we talking about? Anyway, back to the video.
Cameras everywhere. There's phones everywhere. You may think it's funny. It may go viral in the wrong content. Now you're getting judged by the court of public opinion because you said some wild shit at a nightclub or, you know, XYZ good and bad things. You got to be careful how you engage strangers. They got people killing people off of internet beef. That's crazy to me. These people get brave behind the camera and then they want to take that shot. You got to be careful on so many different levels, man. But yeah, there's definitely a they and there's factions and all the secret society and all that type of shit. There's a lot of closed door. There's a lot of them. Cool thing now is there's so many different outlets and platforms that you can use. You're not just limited to this TV show or this network or this and that. There's so many different streaming and platforms and so on and so on. I don't think it's so much like I got to do this. This is the only thing showing right now. Like, please, you have an option on your phone to watch 1 million different things right now. So
That's a good point. And that's why I say it's a middle ground tool, the internet. You can do the wrong thing with it, but you can do the right thing with it too. So because you not just streaming stuff, they could all start doing their own thing on YouTube if they wanted to. They don't have to go to this studio, that studio, because they can make money doing this. They could come on YouTube and they already know how the process goes as far as filming. Not talking about all that weird stuff, just filming a movie or a show. They could easily do that, and they know people who know how to work cameras and stuff. It's like I just don't get why they choose to do that. Like you already made money. It's like maybe they're just so deep into it. You know, I don't know. Back to the video.
um, hopefully we just learn to make better choices because it's all common sense and it all catches up. I think the examples that we've been seeing a lot lately in the news with all of these cameras and all of these abilities to track people let you know, I don't do no stupid shit. Whether it's spiking a drink or taking a drink, whatever you're doing, hey, we're watching. And then all of a sudden everything will catch up to you.
You personally, you don't have to say their name, but do you know an actor that died because they sold their soul?
Mm.
Sure. I mean, sure. The person I'm thinking of, it may have happened before we met so that when I just see him just kind of splash and go, it's like, oh, but then you see
Mm.
the real-time situations now and you're just like, damn, could they have been avoided? Maybe not. When they feel like they're really in anguish and they're really going through real life, you're going, damn, that sucks, man. But what did you Shit, my brother. Shit, what happened to my brother, man?
You did him dirty,
He
bro.
found success. Yeah, and he found success. He reached the top, the mountaintop at the beginning of his career. He reached the mountaintop. It's like, now what? You know what I mean? When you're up there so early, I don't envy that. Like, I wish I won an Oscar for Baby Boy. That'd have been awesome, right? But how would I have handled that? With a new body and shit? I was already getting flirted with too much. An Oscar too? Oh, nigga, be dead. Ain't no, ain't no way I would have survived that. Ain't no way. God has a plan. He know. Take your time. Maybe I'll get it when I'm like Morgan Freeman. For now, you look at the 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 stories and the lessons and that have happened to the ones before us, and you hope to try to say, well, let me do better than that. That can't be me. Maybe I won't do this as much or that. I'm sure my brother looks at a couple things he did and was just like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have did that, but not criminal shit, just bad judgment that makes it look bad. Like when he was going through a lot of the stuff, people were saying in the comments, because that's the world we live in, the comments. People were like, oh, we already knew he was a wild boy. They didn't say he was guilty. They just said, we just know he's wild. That's how he is. He likes to have fun. He's enjoying himself. He won. Once you win, you're like, I won. It's party time.
Mm.
And then when other little problems come up later, you're like, I probably could have handled that better, but I was young, or the reputation that was around me weren't people that I knew. He's fired more agents than I have. He's had different people handling this and that and third aspects of his life. I think he's solid now with the people he has around him. He had to learn the hard way. But again, I hate speaking about somebody else. I'm not in their skin, so I don't know. But just from the outside looking in, I can learn from the lessons. And a lot of those are, whatever happens, this legal stuff here, but you still have people making those decisions, and the people are looking at you and going, oh, yeah, but you did this. So why wouldn't that happen? One thing definitely leads to another all the time. Consequences.
Mm. Yeah. I don't know much about, like, I guess there was, like, I don't know, some stuff with Cuba Gooding Jr. his brother. I don't know all the details or anything. I don't know any of the details really. I don't know if it was essay stuff or I don't know, harassment stuff, sexual harass something. I don't know. But I don't think it was essay. I think it was more sexual harassment, not assault. But yeah, he said some interesting things in that. That was an interesting video. I watched it before, but it's been a while because this was like 6 to 8 months ago. And you don't have to do that. That's why I tell people not to even get involved with that. Like when people come into your life and they're silly, talking about, I call them the three F's. They just talk about fortune, fame, and funny. I don't got time for all that. Like even when because I got another channel too, but I'm not on here to try to be famous or anything like that. Like if I say something funny, I do, but I'm not here to be nobody's clown, dude. I don't do that. I still don't have time for that. And then even when it comes to money, I try to tell people find something, whether they're of the faith, not of the faith, believer, unbeliever, in between, or find something you don't mind doing and that doesn't compromise your character, your values, and do that job. But for some reason, people just really want to be about the rat race, trying to get the cheese, big pimping, spending cheese. It's crazy. I should be on crazy. It's insane. But yeah, 'cause I used to want to go over there, and I mainly wanted to write and direct, and I guess the difference between me and some of those people, like maybe they wanted that so badly that God allowed the devil to bless them with that. Because people don't think the devil can bless you. Oh no, he'll give you exactly what you want that you really don't need, but that's what you desired so much that he gave that to him. Because God ain't gonna do that. But see, me, I wanted to do that, but I didn't want it like that because I didn't have the intention of doing. I didn't care for fame, I just wanted to write and do some good movies, but direct some stuff. But I just didn't want it like that. I guess I don't know because he didn't give that to me. Because once I asked for that, was not asked for that, but was talking to him about that. Tell him, man, I could do this. And he's like, well, let me show you what it's about. And then I started finding out all this type stuff. And I was like, yeah, I guess we're not going to be doing that. Not no we, but just me, you know. So yeah, not going to do this one. That's how it was. So I was like, and it was actually like depressing, to be honest. It was kind of depressing. It was like, dang, man, I can't go write and do some funny stuff and all this. Like, it was back then, not anymore. I don't care. And I'm actually very grateful that that was revealed to me. Because, okay, before you make that decision, let me show you what that place is really about. Some people will argue with me about that because they'll point out people like him and others. But as funny as he was and smart guy and stuff, he didn't get no major stuff like Baby Boy and maybe some other stuff. I can't think of all the stuff he's been in. But you really don't make it big unless you're willing to do certain things. That's just how it goes. But anyway, I don't want to sit here and ramble on or rant or whatever. I just was telling a little backstory about myself and talking about this video. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video. So may the Lord continue to bless us all the way we need to be blessed. And I'll catch y'all later, God willing. I will be back on maybe later today or possibly even tomorrow. Definitely by like Saturday. So may the Lord continue to bless us all.